this is Chandrasekar welcoming you to another delightful part of our South Asian programming. We have an extremely distinguished guest on the program here with us today. He's an extraordinarily popular figure of international stature, a man who has made an outstanding contribution to the Indian film industry and the music industry. And we're delighted to welcome to the program an outstanding ambassador of Indian music, Mr. Anu Malik.
जो हम तुम संग है तो फिर क्या गम क्या नाम हारे हारे
आजू बाजू मत देख हे आई लव यू बोलना आजा गुना कर ले
मैं खिलाड़ी तू अनाड़ी
Anu?
Hi everybody out there, I'm shaking hands with a very, very lovely person and I'm proud to be in a beautiful city called Toronto in Canada. It's wonderful to be here.
It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much.
You've brought in one big hit after the other in terms of the film industry, in terms of your contribution to music.
Thank you.
And you've won many awards. Fiza has become a big hit. Tell us about this, and Refugee.
Shan, I would like to tell you that it's been a very seesaw struggle for me in the Hindi film industry. There have been more ups and then there have been bigger downs and then again ups. Coming down to my films, Refugee and Josh and even Har Dil Jo Pyar Karega and Fiza, which is a recent hit. Have all done well for me. I think the fact that they've done well is also the fact that I've updated myself. If you see the music of Baazigar. Baazigar.
Yeah.
And before that, if you go to Soni Mehwan.
Right.
Or Ek Jaane Hum.
Right.
I'm talking about, there have been many other films, you know, in between these films.
Right.
But if you see Ek Jaane Hum, Soni Mehwan, right. And then you come down to Phir Teri Kahani Yaadein.
Right.
Songs like Tere Dar Pe Sanam Chale Aaye, Tu Na Aaya To Hum Chale Aaye.
तू ना आया तो हम चले आए
Or the film Sir, Sir, We Love You. And suddenly Baazigar oh Baazigar.
Right.
Ye Kali Kali Aankhein.
Oh,
and then we went to Chura Ke Dil Mera Goriya Chali.
चुरा के दिल मेरा गोरियां चली
I've always been updating myself.
Right.
The right word today, because in the days of computers and technology and when people download music from the internet,
right.
And MP3 has already come in with free access to music and so much music happening.
Right.
I don't know how, but I would say it is God's blessing that I've always thought ahead, that what happens next, because I don't rest on my laurels, you know. Someone said, okay, now you've achieved a Filmfare Award in Baazigar, what next? And suddenly I got Border. Yeah. I wanted to prove a point. I've always tried to prove a point to a lot of people, yeah. Because I don't know for what reason people have tried to run me down in some way or the other. I'm proud to say that I'm the son of a very great man called Sardar Malik Sahab,
of course,
who gave songs like Saranga Teri Yaad Mein, Saranga Teri Yaad Mein, Haan Deewana Hoon Main, Ae Gham-e Dil Kya Karun, Ae Wahshat-e Dil Kya Karun.
Classics, yeah.
And also for many people who don't know, and I would like to remind them, I'm the, my mama is Hasra Jaipuri, the man who wrote lyrics from the film Barsat, Jiya Bekar Aara Chhai Bahar Hai, to Ram Teri Ganga Meli, Simsaris. The fact that I was born in a family with music around me and lyrics and words around me, yeah. I would say has helped me to become what I am. When people try to run me down, and I think that inspired me more to prove them wrong. And I kept on working harder and harder. Yeah. Today, if you hear the music of Fiza, songs like Aaja Maiya, right. Or songs like Tu Hawa Hai Fiza Zami Ki Nahi, right. Every song, the people say this, we can't believe, and that's a great compliment to me, that this is the same guy who's given Soni Mehwan, same guy who's given Baazigar, right. Same guy who's given Border or Refugee, right. And now he gives Fiza. Right. Now, what I want to explain, the point which I want to explain through your esteemed show and program is that I would like to say that the biggest guru I ever found in my life has been R.D. Burman. Okay. Now the reason, yeah. Though I've worshipped Shankar Jayakishan, I've right. worshipped Madan Mohanji and right. Naushad Saab and all great music directors and the maestros. Right. The names which I can say, which I can't say. Yeah. I've learned a lot from my father. But I believe in versatility. I believe if a man can, Panchamda could give Chingari Koi Bhadke from Amar Prem, and also give O Hasina Zulfo Wali. So Anu Malik can also give a Janam Samjha Karo, Akali Kali Aankhein, to Aisa Lagta Hai from the film Refugee, or Sandesh Se Aate Hain from the film Border, or a song like Aaja Maiya from the film Fiza. Now what I want to prove is the creator, the music director, that's me, who writes the music. If he shows so much range, I want the people to react to that. You see what happens in our country, which has made me Anu Malik. Which has made me Anu Malik. I would say that India, is the country which has brought me onto the world map. But what happens is, music directors there have been fighting for the recognition, in spite of working so hard. Now, what do you mean by recognition? They're known. But sometimes, I always feel that the credit that should be given to a composer is never given. In this part of the world, when I've come, I had I was fortunate enough to see some photographs of the shows which you did of Mr. Rahman. And I saw the way you gave so much publicity to Mr. A.R. Rahman, very richly deserved. That showed that this is the man who's composed these melodies. This part of the world recognizes talent in a big way. In India, the stars are important, the singers are important, but I also feel that the tune is the king and the words are the crown. So it's a great feeling coming here and seeing so much respect given to a composer. And when you talk about my films, I've gone through so much that I sincerely feel that after many, many years, I'm being recognized as a composer of so much different kind of music. And when I talk about Refugee and Border and the fact that the critics want to write me off, it suddenly made me feel that I'm going to now go deep into my soul and give music which can't be cloned, which is not going to be downloaded from the internet, or you can't find it in a CD. Now that's me, the real Anu Malik. And I would thank directors like J P Dutta, who gave me a chance in Border. Before that, Abbas Mastan, Baazigar. And you've heard of these directors who are very famous in the film industry.
Each one of them is a great award winning.
Before that, it was Mr. Manmohan Desai, the Mehra family, FC Mehras. Apart from that, now, the fact that Subhash Ghai has signed me. You see, when I did Fiza, it made people sit up. But when I signed Yaadein, which is starring Hrithik and Kareena, I think Subhash Ghai signing me up has been a major, major, major turning point in my life. Because he had some tremendous score in Tal. And after that, if he chose me to give the music for his film Yaadein, I would say that my talent has been finally recognized.
That's fantastic.
Finally respected and recognized, because such a maker who's given such innumerable hits, right from hero to Tal, from before, chooses me, that he has put me in a bracket and a league of its own, which I am grateful to God for.
That's wonderful. Well, you deserve the best. Just for the benefit of viewers, the South Asian community in North America doesn't require any introduction to Mr. Anu Malik. He's a household name. But for those Americans or Canadians who are watching this program for the first time, we'd like to give you a little glimpse of this outstanding young man's accomplishment. Here's a montage of some of the biggest box office grossers, and several of them were platinum discs for the motion picture producers and distributors. Anu, our hearty congratulations. Each one of them was an absolutely classic.
The best part of this is I have forgotten so many of my songs, actually.
It's beautiful.
And when I saw them and I heard them, it took me back. And I get scared to go back and look into time, because I want to look into the future. And at the moment, I'm working on a film called Filhaal, which is being directed by Meghna Gulzar, who's the daughter of Gulzar Sahab, the great writer, and Rakhi Gulzar. I'm very excited about the project. I'm also excited about Aks, which is being directed by Rakesh Mehra with Mr. Bachchan and Mr. Manoj Bajpayee together.
Wow.
It's got a different kind of music, and Yaadein, of course, which I've already mentioned, which is very crucial because at the time when you're taking my interview, Shan in Toronto, I have come here on a tourist visa, and I'm very stressed out actually, because I've been working straight right from the month of January last till today for Yaadein.
Yeah.
And it's been a very tough journey.
Yeah.
Because Baazigar is a very hard taskmaster. And so also there are other films coming out with Mr. Abbas Mustan called Chori Chori Chupke Chupke.
देखने वालों ने क्या क्या नहीं देखा होगा.
Ajnabi, again with Abbas Mustan. So there are some good films, and the best part is today I've been signed up by makers who I've actually crossed or broken the barrier.
Right.
Makers like Kalpana Lajmi have approached me.
Right.
Prakash Jha has approached me.
Right.
They are the different. They work on a different format of very realistic films. And the best part is Gulzar Saab has told me that you're working with me.
Fantastic.
Which I've always been a fan of his films like Mausam and Aandhi.
Yeah.
So things are really looking up in the sense that people believe in my music.
Tell me about people of the caliber of J P Dutta or Subhash Ghai and people like that. You know, you talked about Mehras and all these. Manmohan Desai, people of that nature. The late great Manmohan Desai. You know, and by the way, several of these people that you mentioned, I've had the pleasure of interviewing them. They've all been in our studio, or I've seen them on location as well. And when you talk to people of that caliber, say for instance, let's take J P Dutta. He had a personal, very emotional experience in his, segment with us. He mentioned about his brother,
who unfortunately
was killed
that was terrible.
During war.
That was terrible.
And Border was as a result of that, so that stimulated him to make. When he comes to you and discusses a particular situation, tell me what is the process involved? You as a music director, you had beautiful composition. Sandesh Aate Hain was one of them.
I could give you an example of Sandesh Aate Hain. I think you asked me a brilliant question actually. How do I interact with them?
Right.
And how do I work with them? I'll give you a small example of what happened actually in Border.
Right.
J P Dutta is very temperamental.
I see.
Almost like me. I would like to share this with my viewers that we've had major fights. At one of the recordings I walked out.
I see.
And he didn't seem to like what I was doing or whatever I was creating.
I see.
And he said something about background. So I said, why did you do the film only with background? Why do you need Anu Malik? Why do you need me? And and these things happen. Some people say, some people don't. But it's not easy creating a tune.
Right.
Well, I would say it's not easy making a film.
Right. Sure.
This is one of the departments, filmmaking. Maybe even J P Dutta was stressed out. We came to a head that things were not working out, and suddenly JP did something which is very strange. He called me to his house and said, Anu, I would like to show you something. And he showed me his stills, which he had shot on location.
Right.
As the pages turned, as I turned the pages, I saw, I saw this hero or this heroine. I saw the village atmosphere.
Yeah.
I saw the way the woman is cooking food.
Yeah.
I saw the army people in a mess.
Yeah. Right.
Great heights, cold weather, the Indian army guarding our territories, in the bitter cold.
Yeah.
All this suddenly had a tremendous impact on me. I was shaken up. And he closed the stills, those where you keep the stills in, and said, he said nothing. Even I said nothing. And I said, okay, I'm going. We didn't talk.
Yeah.
After about 3-4 days, Mr. Javed Akhtar sat down with him and wrote the lyrics.
Right.
I think they must have discussed the situation.
Yeah.
They came home.
Right.
In those 3-4 days, something happened to me.
Right.
I suddenly was transported to that hilly terrain. Or I almost went into the mind of the soldiers.
Beautiful.
This is the honest truth.
Yeah.
A soldier who's guarding the frontiers of a country, who may have come from any part of the country, must be missing his wife, must be missing his mother, his child, and they wait for these letters. The letters are the only solace, between those families and the soldiers. And when Javed Saab came out, Javed Saab wrote the entire song, Sandesh Se Aate Hain. He wrote the lyrics first. हमें तड़पाते हैं जो चिट्ठी आती है वो पूछे जाती है कि घर कब आओगे. And he wrote a very huge, it was almost like prose.
Yeah.
Because ऐ गुजरने वाली हवा बता मेरा इतना काम करेगी क्या, मेरा गांव जा, मेरे दोस्तों को सलाम दे, वहाँ रहती है मेरी बूढ़ी माँ, and went on and on. I was hearing it. The lyrics were affecting me, the situation with J P Dutta was affecting me, and suddenly Javed Saab told JP, we'll have to postpone the recording, but it's a huge song, and I don't think Annu Malik will be able to, we should give him some time, he won't be able to make the song so fast. While they were talking, I think Javed Saab is going to record to say this. My hands came into my harmonium, and I remember the first line that I made was the last verse. "न गुजरने वाली हवा बता मेरा इतना काम करेगी क्या, मेरे गाँव जा, मेरे दोस्तों को सलाम दे." And then I came down to the Mukra.
Yeah.
Sandhe se aate hain. The moment I sang it out, when they were talking, I was writing the song with my pen, and the tune was flowing.
Oh, beautiful.
Here I would like to say that it is divine intervention.
Fantastic.
Here I would like to say that it is God who gave me, because I'm a firm believer in destiny and God, you know. When I started humming it out, Javed Saab just started crying, and he got up and said, would you like to, I want your autograph on the cassette. He took my autograph, and JP hugged me. Now, I think somewhere J P Dutta's showing me the stills must have affected me.
Fascinating.
So when you say, how do I compose music? Or how do I relate to these directors? Or how a song is born? I think I don't go on a keyboard and start planning with a rhythm going on. You know? I'm not a technical person actually. I believe in technology. I respect technology. But I respect my heart more. Music that comes out from my heart is music to me.
Absolutely.
And I don't plan, okay, now I'll open the harmonium. Or I'll go to the keyboards. And I have a specific time that in the morning from so-and-so time I work. It's not like a business. Or in the nights I work so long. Or I work in the afternoons. To me, either a tune comes to me or it doesn't come to me. And it comes through emotions of human beings.
Fantastic.
You know, my music is born out of the love that I get from the people who love me. My music is born out of the fact that you're giving me so much warmth and respect. My music is born out of the fact that many viewers out there who go to see me, someone out there will understand my heart and love me for it.
Of course.
You see, I don't wear a halo around my head. I'm Annu Malik. I would say I'm a very ordinary man. And I would like to say this on record. But with extraordinary talent.
Oh, it's wonderful.
You know, I would like to put it this way.
It's wonderful. Just for the benefit of viewers, the extraordinary talent that he was just talking about, here is an exhibit of that. With respect to the particular sequence in the film that he was talking about, look at the emotional component with respect to his music and the way J P Dutta has filmed this. Here's an example. I have a pleasant surprise for you. Every singer who has performed with you, like in the sense that you have given them a chance to sing some of your compositions, each one of them is, they think the world of you.
I think the world of them too, because mind you, these singers who sing for me, honestly, are all so talented. The fact that they sing with so many composers day in and day out, and they have the time to sit down with sittings and give their best, is in itself an achievement, because it's a stressful life, not only for the composer, but also for these singers and the musicians and the production guys, people who produce music, sound. So I'm grateful to the singers who put in the best to make my songs what they are.
Well, right from one of the greatest living legends of India and one of the nightingales, I should say, of the world is Lata ji. Right from Lata ji to young people like Roop Kumar, they've all spoken about you.
Lata ji, Asha ji, to Sonu Nigam, to Umarrathod, to Udit Narayan, to new singers like Jasminder Narula, Sunidhi Chauhan, to Kavita Krishnamurthy, to Sadhna Sargam, to Alka Yagnik, to Hema Sardesai. There are so many singers who are singing for me. I must tell you one thing, that they all work so hard. And they all try to give their best to me. They enjoy singing my songs. And they come and say that, and the fact that they approach me sometimes and say, Anu, I would love to work with you. I think that's an achievement of, like some top singer says, I just don't want to lose your song.
Wonderful.
I think that in itself gives me great pleasure to know that they love my tune so much.
It's wonderful. Tell me about Didi, tell me about Lata ji, working with Lata ji. What is it like to work?
Shan, I would say that Lata ji, The right word for Lata Mangeshkar, I would say, is somehow it is a voice that has turned me into a composer. I grew up age 7 just hearing Lata ji. And just hearing her voice, I think it's divine. And she sung about 10 to 12 numbers for me. Not much, but each number is what she has sung for me. I would say that it's worth 1,000. Her voice just pierces your heart, like everyone knows.
Do you remember any one of those?
And the incidents which I remember Datta ji have been, some films have not been mentioned. She sang brilliantly for me in a film called Radha Ka Sangam. I don't know where the music is now, because I don't know what the records say. But the way she sang Radha Ka Sangam, unfortunately the music was not promoted. It was one of my brilliant scores.
I see.
You know. Apart from Radha Ka Sangam, she sang for me recently for Tahir Hussein's film, Dil Dhoondta Hai. And I cherish that song very much. She sang for me after a long, long time.
I see.
And what surprises me is that her voice sounds as young as ever.
Yeah, yeah.
And she takes a little more time, obviously, with age. But the final result is something you can't imagine. You have no words to express that you're sitting with a legend.
Yeah.
You know, and time stands still when I'm in front of Lata Mangeshkar, because the moment I look at her, I start remembering all her songs. Aapki Nazaron ne samjha pyar ke qaabil mujhe, or songs of Shankar Jageshwar or Madan Mohan ji. And she's still the old humble self, same old person. And you know, when she comes, she's a very humorous person actually. But if you come to know her, when we're humming out a tune, initially she knows that this person is overawed by her presence, and there's tremendous silence. If someone cracks a joke, she goes into peals of laughter, and the atmosphere de-stresses itself, you know. And she's like a child.
Yeah, yeah.
And I wish she could say, I'm planning a film now. I've been signed up by Universal. And my only dream is that she sings all the songs.
Wonderful. Oh, congratulations.
And one thing I want to tell you about Lata Mangeshkar, which will surprise. I was keeping this for the last, which is very important. Apart from the song she sang for me, she's a fabulous human being. I'll give you an example of what she did.
Right.
Lata Mangeshkar rang me up after hearing the music of Border. And she particularly mentioned Sandhe Se Aate Hain.
Wonderful.
And she even hummed some lines of it on the phone to me.
Right.
And I had tears streaming down my eyes.
Oh, beautiful.
The Lata Mangeshkar, the woman who has achieved so much, the woman you can't praise because words fall short and they fail you, had the kindness, the right word is kindness, to give me a call and praise me for my musical border, and also hum out some lines which she had not sung.
Wow.
Was the biggest award a composer can get in his life.
That's fantastic.
The Lata Mangeshkar Award. This is the award which I will cherish forever and ever.
That's fantastic. The very song that he's talking about, the lyrics, and the young man who was given a chance by Mr. Anu Malik to do this song, Umarrathod, recently paid a tribute to Mr. Anu Malik in front of a huge live audience, and here is that tribute paid by him, and he sang a verse of that song as well in his honor. Let's watch this in front of a huge audience right here in Toronto. That was excellent, by the way.
I think the way Ruko spoke about me and the way he sang, I must also compliment him that he worked very hard on the song with Sonu. And today, even the song which he sang for award was Tussle.
Oh, it's another beautiful
I've used him again for a film called Filhaal, and he sang brilliantly.
I see. That's again a beautiful song. Again, a very sentimental song. It brought a lot of emotions. You're able to accommodate the producer's request, the director's request in various moods. Romance is another one. Some of the compositions of ours are the most romantic tunes that the Indian film industry has ever seen.
No doubt about it.
In Kareeb, some very beautiful pieces.
I was lucky to work with Mr. Vidhu Chopra, and he inspired me a lot. Kareeb's music was born out of a lot of inspiration. Songs like Chori Chori Jab Nazare Mili, if you remember.
Beautiful.
Like, can I hum it out to you?
Please, yeah.
Chori Chori Jab Nazare Mili, Chori Chori Phir, Chori Chori Jab Nazare Mili, Chori Chori Phir Neende Udi, चोरी चोरी फिर दिल ने कहा चोरी में भी है मजा.
Beautiful piece.
Tararararam tam tam tara.
चोरी चोरी जब नजरें मिली.
For that I've given songs like राह में उनसे मुलाकात हो गई जिससे डरते थे वही बात हो गई ला 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 ला.
राह में उनसे मुलाकात हो गई.
You know the song चुरा के दिल मेरा.
Beautiful piece.
गोरिया चली तारारारारा.
चुरा के दिल तेरा.
Anything, काली
Your
काली आंखें.
orchestration, your orchestration is superb. Do that song again, Chura ke. Just do that again.
चुरा के दिल मेरा गोरिया चली ताराराराराम उड़ा के निंदिया कहाँ तू चली. ओ पागल हुआ दीवाना हुआ पागल हुआ दीवाना हुआ कैसी ये दिल की लगी ये. One. Tara ta tara. I brought the rhythm.
Beautiful.
Tarara dum dum. Good. Many people then took off on these kind of rhythms.
That's fantastic.
And now today, आ धूप मलूं मैं तेरे हाथों में.
Beautiful piece again.
आ सजदा करूं मैं तेरे हाथों में. ओ सुबह की मेहंदी छलक रही है आजा आजा माहिया. ओ आजा माहिया आजा आजा माहिया.
आजा माहिया, आजा माहिया.
There's a difference in my compositions also and my sound also. So the fact that people have reacted to my melodies makes me feel that I'm on the right track, because in our Indian blood or in anybody's blood, whether it's now in Toronto, it's a multiracial place where I'm seeing so many diverse cultures, whether it's an Indian or a Pakistani or a Korean or a Vietnamese or people from so many countries are here, and one thing they understand is the language of melody.
Yeah.
So I've got friends in all of these people,
Yeah.
and that makes me feel inspired to make this kind of music more and more.
Yeah. Now here is a sample of a simple whistle. This is an average man. You don't need an instrument for this. Anybody could do this on the street. It's non-intimidating. And here is an example of how he has used people whistling at the beginning of a song on two different occasions with two different heroes. Here's a sample, one with Bobby Deol and another one with Shah Rukh Khan, both composed by the great Anu Malik. Let's watch this.
The whistling has been done by me.
If you notice, I want this to be a little different compared
sir.
to the other interviews, because
No,
that
no
way
problems.
this is really like going into
No problems.
analysis.
I
of
care
the
for you so much that you're the son of a great person. So
Oh, so thanks very much. The whistling that I just mentioned, incidentally, it's done by Mr. Anu Malik himself. Let's watch this. Again, congratulations. That was lovely.
I must hum this whistle
Okay,
because they've heard it.
okay.
Now, why I choose to whistle? Because the certain notes,
Yeah.
which if only a composer can give,
Yeah.
not the person who's whistling. For example,
Beautiful,
notes are very
beautiful,
important.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
and even when I did the background,
Yeah.
I was whistling throughout the film.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And what happened?
Yeah.
I couldn't whistle for about a month after that.
Then there was another film in which there was a Spanish influence.
Right.
That was in Baazigar.
Right.
Again, a big hit song.
I love Latin music,
Yeah.
So maybe sometimes Spanish music, Latin music.
Gori, gori, darling.
This kind of song which I made,
Yeah.
I think was a trendsetter.
Right,
Not only for the fact that it's catchy.
right.
I have a feeling that when I made this song,
Right.
sequence music was not inside the industry, film industry.
I see.
I don't remember anyone coming up and saying that. I made, when I recorded the song, it was done on a keyboard. Kali Kali Aankhein.
Right.
When the producers came to the recording theatre and saw only one solitary individual sitting in a huge studio,
Right.
they said, this man has gone berserk. He's going to ruin my song. But mind you, the song was entirely sequenced, and then we put in the violins.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And this wave of doing the song this way has just come in now.
Right.
But I did that way back in 1992.
Right.
Like ye Kali Kali Aankhein.
Yeah, yeah.
The best part of the song which I like many people like Kali Kali Aankhein, but would you don't mind me sharing it with your
Please,
viewers?
yeah.
I like the antara which I made.
Okay.
Oh, of teri dil lagi, dil ko jalane lagi, da ra 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 ra.
Yeah, beautiful.
Dil ruba, tu mujhe nakhre dikhane lagi. That's because being a romantic person, I brought in a lot of passion in these lines, you know.
Right.
गैरों की अरे बाहों में इठला के जाने लगी तारारा
Beautiful.
ये तेरी बेरुखी दिल को जलाने लगी छोड़ो जी छोड़ो सनम जिद अपनी छोड़ो सनम नाजुक है दिल ये मेरा. It goes on one note. दिल को ना तोड़ो सनम. I brought a lot of sound and silence.
Excellent.
ये गोरी गोरी बाहें. This Turu, you know, when this Turu was made, tarara, tarara, the first person who heard the song was my wife, Anju, and my daughter, Anmol. At that time, Ada was not born. I remember Anmol, she was 2.
Yeah.
In her mother's arms. I was driving the car after recording the song, and I played it. Within 2 minutes, she said, tururu, tururu. I said, this song is going to be a rage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And you know how I started that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I put layers of rhythm come in.
Yeah.
Tararam pam 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 tam taram pam 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 pam. This kind of beat then became very famous.
Absolutely.
And many people started doing this kind of songs.
Right. Well, take a look at this. We're doing a special tribute to one of the greatest ambassadors of Indian music, Anu Malik, who is an extremely well-known international name, and particularly in India, he's a total household name. Now, let's see the use of instruments. I'm going to split some of the instruments. Here is a sample of the use of the percussion in one of his compositions.